Hi loves, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Morgan. I make videos about luxury handbags, fashion, and lifestyle, so if that's your thing, please subscribe and turn on notifications. I upload twice a week and I would love to have you here. So today I am going through why I don't buy Hermes and my foolish experience of trying to score a bag in London. I have to give credit for this video idea to Sophie, and I will link her channel below. Everyone's Hermes experience and Hermes journey is so different that even though she's done a similar video, my story and experience is completely different from hers. So I hope that you still watch this video and you still enjoy it, because I did learn some helpful tips from the sales associate that I did speak with in London, and I'm going to share those with you in this video, as well as talk about my journey. I based her video off of a question from one of her viewers. It's a similar question to the questions I get when people ask me about my thoughts on Hermes. They ask me, what do I think about it? Would I ever buy an Hermes bag? Would I have a Birkin or a Kelly? And I have some thoughts about it, and they're a little controversial, so I'm going to share it all with you. In this video, I'll get into why I don't shop Hermes, what bags might be on my wish list, my thoughts on the Hermes game, and I'll take you through my experience of trying to score a bag in London and the tips that I learned from that experience so that you don't make the same mistakes I did. I'm going to get into a little bit of the backstory on why I don't shop Hermes. I have always admired the brand in terms of, I think that they're a great heritage brand. Their construction is unbeatable. Their materials, their leather, their customer service, everything about the company as a whole looks great. I mean, minus the whole game part. But I never, and this is going to be a little controversial, I never was really super interested in them in my younger 20s and even mid 20s, because I really saw the brand as like an old lady brand. I always thought like a Birkin bag was something you get when you're in your 40s, you have your 2 kids, is a milestone in life that should be achieved at an older age. My opinion has shifted now, especially in the past 2 years. You see it more on celebrities, you see it more on younger influencers, and especially in fashion influencers, seeing it on people in their 20s and how they style it. It's really changed how I view the bag and how I view the brand. Now, that being said, there's not a lot from the brand that I like. I'm a handbags girl, you guys know that. A lot of their shoes don't appeal to me. The scarves are beautiful, but I prefer Louis Vuitton as a scarf maker. And when I go into each store, I end up walking out with a Louis Vuitton scarf versus an Hermes scarf. So the jewelry doesn't appeal to me. And there's only probably about 3 products that I would actually want to buy. So the idea of having to spend a ton of money to get offered the handbag I want, and then it might not be the exact handbag that I want, doesn't sit well with me. Now, if you love the brand and you love their products, and you know that you're going to use those products and you don't mind building up that portfolio, I think that is a great way to get your hands on a bag. But for me personally, the only products from Hermes that I would really like to own in my collection other than handbags are the Oran sandals, but I've literally been trying to get them for 2 years, and every time I go into a shop, they're out of stock in my size and the color I want, or I don't like the color palette. Like when I was in London, they were very fall dark colors and I would like a bright color. So I just haven't had luck in finding my size and a color I like at the same time. I would also like the H belt, but I would only buy the H belt after I had an Hermes bag so I could match it to it. So I know that's kind of backwards, like you're supposed to buy the things and then you get offered a bag. It's not really gonna help me much. So the other thing I really love is the blanket, but I have dogs. So I have not bought the blanket because there's not a single space in my home where my dogs would not get on that blanket. So it just is at a price point where I would be really angry with them if they're like cuddling up into my Hermes blanket. So it's just not something for me. I'd rather just get cheaper blankets that my dogs can lay on when they feel like it. That kind of rules it out too. So I'm really only left with sandals. And there's no way I'm going to spend 1-to-1 at a Birkin or a Kelly price in sandals. So it just isn't going to work for me to spend so much on all of the other Hermes things that I would be in a position, especially in Dubai, where the clientele is very, very wealthy and they spend a lot. So if you know of any other Dubai luxury YouTubers, Layli has an amazing Hermes collection. I love her videos. She's so much herself, and I will link her channel below, but she is the type of client here in Dubai that would be offered bags frequently. I am not. I would just not spend that much at Hermes and build that relationship here in Dubai, where I don't think I would ever be able to be offered a bag in Dubai, so I don't bother trying. Plus the prices for Hermes and luxury in general here in Dubai is more than it is in Europe or the UK. So that's another thing. I compared the sandals, like I looked for them in London, I looked in the duty frees when I was flying, and then I couldn't get them obviously, and then I came back to Dubai. They did have the sandal in my size, in the color I wanted, but the price it cost versus if I would have bought it in London and gotten my VAT back was so drastic. I was like, it's not worth it. I just don't see myself being one to spend enough to be offered a bag here. That's really why I don't shop Hermes, because I just would never be their ideal client where I just spend tons and tons of money at their store. And you know, I might get a little thing here or there, just don't like the brand enough, so I don't shop there. Let's get into what bags are on my wish list. Now I have to preface this with, I have started looking more closely at Hermes in the past 2 years because Chanel keeps getting more and more expensive, yet I don't feel the quality is going up with that price increase. Now that a lot of Chanel bags are getting to Hermes prices, I'm starting to look at Hermes because their bags are handmade, and honestly Hermes makes the most beautiful colors. I love Chanel colors, I will always be a Chanel girl, but Hermes makes the most beautiful colors. For some reason they have that thing where it's like every color they put out is like timeless. It always works, it always looks good, and that makes it very attractive. Because if I'm spending so much, and you guys know I love color, but sometimes over time you go, oh, that's not the right color for me, and I end up selling it off because you tire of the color. But Hermes colors, like from the first time I ever saw them till now, every color that I've been attracted to, I still love today. But I understand that like if you are gonna buy from the boutique, a wish list is just kind of a general guideline because they may not offer you exactly what you want. So that's something that really also turns me off to Hermes, because if I'm going to spend that kind of money on a bag, it's got to be perfect. I personally would not buy at astronomical resale values as well, like buying it pre-loved. So if I could find my dream bag and maybe add like $1,000 or $2,000 on top of it to avoid the Hermes games to get exactly what I want, I would probably buy it. But of course, knowing me, I've picked colors that are also very sought after by other people. Top 2 bags that I really want are almost double of what they retail for. My wish list for Hermes is, I'm a Kelly girl. I love Kellys. I would love to have a bunch of Kellys. But honestly, with all the games in Hermes, I'd be happy with just one Kelly. Like, one Kelly, I'd be done. If I got one Kelly, it would actually be exactly what Sophie unboxed in her Hermes unboxing video, and that is the Kelly 28 Cellier with gold hardware in rose confetti. It is the most beautiful shade of pink. It's absolutely stunning, and I think I would want to go for a day bag size because they're so hard to get, and I'm just not going to spend over retail, you know, more than once to get multiple bags. I just don't see the point of going for something smaller. Kelly's, the thing is like I don't know the size exactly that I want. I watched dozens of videos trying to figure out what size would suit my body, what size, you know, looks good for my height and everything like that, but I am the type of person that has to try on a bag to know how it's gonna look on my body. So I think I want somewhere between a 25 and a 32 in a Kelly, but I think the 32 might be too big and the 25 might be too small, so that's why I'm saying the 28 would probably be the safest bet for me. The second bag I would buy is actually another Kelly, either a 25 or a 28 in blue atoll. In this bag, I would take either gold or palladium hardware. I would definitely want a Cellier again. I just love that structure. But I think those two, honestly, could be my entire Hermes collection. Those are the 2 colors I love the most. I do have some other bags that I like. The third bag on my list would be a Constance in Rose Sakura with palladium hardware. I don't know what size, again, because I've never tried them on, but I want a size that fits my phone and looks nice on my body. So I'm a little open with a Constance, but I think that that's just such a pretty crossbody style. It would be super functional for me. The fourth bag on my list would be a Birkin, and I don't know exactly what color, but I think something like bubblegum or rose lipstick in that kind of light to medium pink range. Obviously not rose sakura or rose confetti because I would already like have those. I would try to get these in order. and I would be open to some more colors, but I would definitely want a 30 size because I think that that's the size that takes you from your 20s to your 80s. It looks classy on every age. It's enough to fit everything for the day. I think that one I actually have nailed down the size on. This bag on my list would be a Birkin 25 in like a yellow or a bright green, like something really fun, because a Birkin 25 I think is great when you're young. I don't know if a Birkin 25 would be something that would stay in my collection forever because I feel like they look better on people who are younger. I don't see a lot of older ladies carrying a 25 size, or if you're petite. Like, they look very good if you're petite, but I'm 5'6". For me, I think it would look more like a mini bag on me. I don't think that I want something in the 25 size that's like a must-have daily use bag for me. I want something more fun. And there are also other Hermes styles I like. I would love to have a picotin in a fun color, probably something like a bright yellow. Spoiler, I did add a picotin since filming this video. It was pre-loved from a website in the US, so I sent it to my family home there to wait for me until I go to the US again. But also love to have a garden party in Rose Sakura. I think that's just a great daily use tote in the perfect light pink. Obviously this is a big dream wish list, and I'm not working on getting all of these bags. I'm really not. Like, I'm still debating on if I'm gonna try to get a Kelly in the next year or something, because I just am so turned off for the Hermes games. If I pop in and they happen to have like a picotin or a garden party that I like, then maybe I would add it if I'm traveling or something and I could get the VAT back and the price was better. But we're not really traveling right now, and I don't see myself shopping for it in Dubai, so I don't think I'll be adding Hermes anytime soon. So now I want to get into my thoughts on the Hermes game. Now, how Hermes works, I know, varies from country to country, and if you watch Hermes videos like I do on YouTube, you're really not going to know how it works because everyone says something different, varies for so many different factors that it's like literally 100% impossible to figure out like what you're actually supposed to do. So I figured I'd just walk in London, and I'll tell you about that experience in a minute. Honestly, I don't want to play the Hermes game. I don't want to spend the one-to-one. I always thought that if I was ever going to get an Hermes bag, I would try my luck in Paris with the appointment system. If I got offered anything, I would just take it, and if I didn't like it, I'd resell it and then buy on the resale market what I actually wanted. So that was my plan, but then everything happened this year, and it wasn't possible to go to Paris. That was my plan for my birthday. I wanted to go to Paris and try to do this. Maybe when the world gets better, I might do this in the future, but I'm never gonna be the one to spend one-to-one to get offered a bag. It's just not gonna happen. And I really only recommend it if you love Hermes stuff. Other things that you're buying work for you and your wardrobe, that is fantastic. And I'm so happy for you that you're on that journey, but it's just not for me. I mean, I've already gone through it. I just don't like enough of their stuff. Since I was in London, I thought I'd just shoot my shot and walk into Hermes and see, you know, if I could get a bag. It didn't have to be a Birkin or a Kelly, just any bag, honestly. But I did do a little research. I watched some videos of other girls who had bought from London, and then I read Tamara's blog post where she just walked into the London store, asked for a leather appointment, and got offered a Birkin. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna follow her advice. I'm gonna go in early. I'm gonna ask for a leather appointment. They thought I was an idiot. Like, that is 100% not how it works now. Maybe it did back when she tried it, but that is not how you get a Kelly or a Birkin in London today. Well, I'm gonna take you through my experience of shopping at Hermes while I was in London. So I went into the shop at 10 a.m., which is when they opened. I brought Ronnie with me because I saw so many videos. They like your partner to come with you. So they greeted me and asked how they could help me. And I said, I'm just shopping for my birthday. I would love to look at a few different things like some sandals, and I would also love to look at some bags if you have any leather appointments available today. He was like, well, we don't do appointments anymore. And I was like, just someone like take this embarrassment away now. Like, it was so, like, I felt so embarrassed. She called an SA over, but he can help you with some handbags. I said, oh, that would be great, thank you so much. And he took us upstairs, making some small talk, and we got upstairs and he asked me what I was looking for. And I said, I really would just love something in like a pink or a light blue. I'm looking for like an everyday kind of a bag, nothing too big and nothing too tiny. I would love like a picotin or an Evelyn or a Kelly if possible, and that's where he kind of stopped me, and he was like, well, Birkins and Kellys are now only done on order in London, and he asked me how long I was here for. At that point I had less than a week left in my trip, and he said that won't be enough time. It can take anywhere from 2 months to 4 months. But he said, let me see what I have in the back of the other styles. So he went to the back and he brought out 3 bags. So I know a lot of people say that like you have to have a relationship before you get offered any bags. That's just not true. Just go into Hermes, ask politely, tell them that you're interested in the handbags. Don't go in and be like, I want a Birkin. Like, of course don't do that, but you can go in and just say you would love to see some handbags. At least in my experience in London, he was able to show me a few. Unfortunately, none of them I liked, so I declined all of them, but what I was offered was an Evelyn in the biggest size, and it was red. And you guys know, not a red girl. So I asked him, I was like, do you have this in a smaller size and any other bright color? He was like, no, this is the only one we have right now. And then he opened up the next box, which was a garden party, and it was in, I think it was a rose confetti because it was the most gorgeous shade of pink, but it was trimmed in red. I was like, why? I would have taken that bag if it was a solid pink garden party. I 100% would have taken that bag, but it was trimmed in red, and I knew that I would always just see those red handles. It just doesn't suit my style. It was beautiful, but it just wasn't for me. So I did ask him, I said, do you have this but just in the solid color? And he's like, no, this is what we have. I was like, okay. So then he opens the most gorgeous bubblegum pink ostrich leather. It was like a little square bag with a different hardware I haven't seen before. So beautiful. It was like this light bubblegummy pink, but I knew that was not my budget. Like, I did not want to spend Hermes exotic money on a bag that, one, I didn't even know existed, and 2, has not been on my wish list. I did want to see poor in Hermes, so I told a teeny lie, and I was like, I just don't wear exotics. Do you have this in a regular leather? And he was like, no, this is the only thing that we have. But I did look at some sandals and scarves and things like that, but everything was like that fall winter collection, and those are just not my colors. You guys know spring summer is when I do a lot of my luxury shopping because that is when the brightest and most beautiful like pinks and colors are out. So I ended up leaving empty-handed, but he did share some tips with me that I want to share with you now. So the first thing I learned is that in London, Kellys and Birkins are only done on order. So if you're a tourist, it's very, very, very unlikely that you're gonna get a Birkin or a Kelly. He said that they're not even getting shipped extras right now because there's a shortage of Hermes bags right now because there's social distancing in the factories, plus they just went through their 1-month mandatory holiday period where all the workers are off. So he said I had come at the worst time. We just don't have as many bags as if I would have come at the same time last year. So that was one thing that I learned that I thought could be super helpful for you guys, is that it's really tough to get a bag right now. For styles that are not a Birkin or a Kelly, like their other styles, he said the best thing to do is to come on a weekday because they get daily deliveries. Weekends they don't get deliveries, so weekends are not a good time to try to get another handbag. So come on a weekday. He said they receive them in the morning, they open around 10, and he said come an hour or 2 after opening because they need time to put them in their system and, you know, get them all set in their stock room and everything like that. So if you come exactly at 10 a.m. like I did, they're not gonna have the new stock processed for the day and available to sell to you. So maybe try like 11:30 rather than 10 a.m. because if you go at 10 a.m. you're just going to be offered the leftovers from the previous day that no one wanted. It also taught me a trick to check to see if a bag is in stock in an Hermes store in London. So on their UK Hermes website you can go under the handbags, and if there is one that says like add to cart, like it's available for purchase, you can add it to your cart, and there's a place there that will tell you you can check stock. So he said go to check stock in the morning, see that that bag is in one store, run. They won't hold it for you, but you have a better chance of knowing that that bag is there, and if you get there quick enough you might be able to purchase it from the store if you're wanting to try on. Because I personally have never even been interested in ordering Hermes online because they're such pricey bags that I definitely want to try them on before I purchase them. Also taught me another thing, that this is not for handbags but for other items like the sandals, because I told him I have been trying to get the sandals for so long and they're always out of stock in my size. You can actually call Hermes customer service in the country that you're going to. So maybe like a week or two before your trip there, call the boutique that you want to shop at and their customer service, and they will, and you can tell them, I'm coming in to shop and I want these sandals and this is my size. Would you be able to bring it into the boutique for me? I've never tried this myself and I haven't like checked it, how it works or like the whole process. This is what he told me, so maybe give it a try if you know you are traveling somewhere and you know on that trip you want to buy a certain product. The last tip is don't go in asking for a leather appointment. They don't do appointments anymore. You're just gonna look like a dummy like I did. Like, I appreciate Tamara's blog post and everyone's Hermes blog posts and videos, because otherwise Hermes is such an exclusive type of brand where it's like this information is not on their website. Like, you would never know from them what to do. So it's just everyone talking about their experience. Go in and tell them that you're interested in their handbags, and I think that will get you further than asking for an appointment, which they don't do anymore. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please keep in mind that this was my own personal experience and my own personal thoughts. Everyone is different. Hermes is such a big decision that, like, my experience shouldn't deter you. If you feel differently, you know, you are on your Hermes journey. That's why a lot of people call it the Hermes journey, because it's just not the same for everyone. Take what you will from it, but, you know, just know that my experience probably won't be your experience, because I watched so many videos and nobody has the exact same experience with Hermes. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, where you can see the bags that I am able to purchase because they're available in store. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!